it's time to dish with D. That's me. Thank you for clicking on this video and making yourself a priority. I am Denise. It is Monday. It is week 5 of the Fall into Better Behaviors Challenge. Yep, week 5 already. It is October 2nd. Wow, did this 5 weeks go fast or is it just me? Holy moly, week 5. Well, I saved this. Now, a lot of Weight Watcher challenges usually start, this is their first week challenge. But I thought to myself, there's other things in life we need to work on. But this is definitely important. Tracking. But not just tracking. Honest tracking. I mean, how many of us eat something, we're like, oh, I'm not going to put it on tracker. Like it didn't count. You know what? I'm not telling you not to eat it. I'm just telling you to track it. The good, the bad. Put it all in there. You've already eaten it, so your body already has it. So why is it you refuse to put it in your tracker? Does that make it like it didn't happen? Well, then when you get on the scale, you realize, oh, so you've had a lot of those. I didn't track that. I didn't track that. Then you don't have to wonder why the scale didn't move, or the scale went the other way, because we did an honest track. It's a hard one because I think a lot of us, it's a psychological thing. When we track it, then we've absolutely accepted that we ate it. And that guilt and that disappointment, it becomes more of a reality. I think if we don't track it, in our heads we didn't eat it. It's not real. It's only real when you track it, which is a good thing then, because then tracking will help you if you absolutely believe that. That's my theory on that. If you're refusing to track it, then you realize that tracking does work. Now, a lot of people hate to track. I know. And it's funny that this comes up this week, because if you saw my weigh-in video on 2 days ago, it's always linked at the end of the video. If not, I will, it definitely was 2 days ago. It was Saturday. I said I didn't do really good with my tracking this week, and I'm tracking calories right now. So that's huge. It is. It's daunting. I know. It's daunting. But especially if you're on Weight Watchers, it's doable. It is much easier. Trust me when I tell you, it's so much easier on WW to track than it is tracking calories, because you have to track every little blessed thing. In fact, I track my lettuce, my cucumbers, my radishes, my peppers. It's annoying. I'm not gonna lie. It's annoying. But you know what? It is what it is, and I decided to do it, so I have to suck it up. So I'm trying to do better. Do I have, there are times where I just, I know what I ate was good because I knew what it was in there. So, but that's not always good enough, because we want to go over what we've done. We want to see where we went wrong. And the only way we can see where we went wrong is to look back on it. If we didn't track it, we don't know. So it is important, and track however you want to track. You want to track points, you want to track macros, you want to track calories, you want to track carbs, whatever you want to track. Be honest and track it. Don't just say it, do it. And a lot of us say we do it, but we really don't. And I'm guilty of that. I'm truly guilty. Bailey, hang on. It's worse than the children. So, or if you're a paper tracker, track on paper. I have one that I provided. Again, track how you want to track. If you don't like digital, then don't do it. Do paper. That's what you want to do. You know what? Don't let anybody tell you what's better, what's worse. What is best for you? Only you know that. I don't know that. Only you know that. So whatever way you track. Honestly, if you ate it, put it down. It doesn't, just because you didn't put it in there doesn't negate the fact that you ate it. And I think we don't put it in there because we don't want to accept the fact that we ate it. You know what? There's days where you eat things you don't plan, eat things you shouldn't have. You just put it in there. Just put it in there. And sometimes it's not as bad as you think. Or maybe it might make you think, if you see it on your next meal, yeah, I had that at lunch. I really need to buckle down for dinner. Sometimes it helps. So sometimes you need that reality check. You do. And I know I've done it. And like I said, I've been very lax last week tracking. So trying to do better. And I always say trying because it's all we could ask of ourselves is to try. And I want you to really focus this week. This week's challenge is tracking. So yes, track everything. I even highly recommend tracking your water, especially if you have the WW app and there's a little check off for that. Track your water. Know how much water you're drinking, because sometimes we just don't know. They go, oh, yeah, I think I drink enough. You don't know what you drink unless you track it. You don't know what you eat unless you track it. And I have had people say, oh, I don't feel like doing this for the rest of my life. Well, my hope is if we do it enough, consistently, correctly, that eventually we will be able to do intuitive eating. But unless we're doing something consistently and correctly and seeing the results that we want, we can't even think about intuitive eating. When people go on intuitive eating and they're not at goal, I always go, oh, that's not going to last, because it's not. If you can't handle what you're doing here, you're never going to be able to handle intuitive eating, because your intuition is going to tell you to eat, because we've not used our muscle of discipline. And discipline is tracking. That is part of discipline. Writing it down, accepting it, and moving on. So I encourage you this week to really put your best foot forward. I know it's hard. Again, at least I know for where as I speak, I live it every day. So I know it's hard. I know it's a pain in the butt, but I still try and do it. Like I said, last week, and I had 2 good weeks of great tracking. How last week got to hell in a handbasket, I don't know. You know what happens, I think, when you skip one meal of tracking, you kind of like, I'll just, you think in your head, you think you got it under control. Till you get on the scale, you realize, I didn't have it under control. If I did, that scale would have been a little bit better in my favor. We only have ourselves to blame. Can't blame the plan. We can't blame, if we're not following the plan as the plan is written, we can't blame the plan. That's it in a nutshell. We like to, oh, this doesn't work. Are you following it and doing everything that they tell you to do? I bet a lot of you aren't. But yet we want to blame the plan because it's easier to blame the plan than to blame us. That's why I say this is a journey of self-discovery, of self-awareness, of self-realization. Like, yeah, I don't do what I'm supposed to do. No wonder the scale's not moving the way I want it to. Maybe if I did what I was supposed to do, things that they tell me to do, then I would see better results. That's a lot to think about. I'm putting the onus back on us because I think a lot of it belongs there. Guilty. I know. I want to blame this. I want to blame that. I mean, and I'm only doing something different just to see if maybe a different method will make me more diligent. Because let's face it, when people, all of a sudden you hear people go, oh, I went low carb and I dropped all this weight. Because you're following it. You follow anything correctly, it will work. And that's the thing. We're so complacent in our plan. That is the biggest problem. Our complacency. We are complacent in our plan. We need to act like it's our first week on plan and act like we did then. Being so mindful, so in tune, doing everything we're supposed to, and we'll see results. But no, we get lax, we get complacent. Oh, yeah, I'll do it later. I think I did all right. I don't really put it in my... this was fine. This was all 0 points. This was fine. Just because it's 0 points doesn't make it a good option, a good choice, and too little. Remember, 0 points does not make it 0 calories, and you could be overeating. I think that's the downfall of 0 point foods. We don't know what we're eating. We really don't. Caloric-wise, we don't. I mean, none of us gain weight eating chicken. But there's that non-fat Greek yogurt. There's and there's the amount of it. Yeah, salmon's a great option, but it's very oily. And if you have too much of it, it's calorically dense. So we just have to be a little bit more, sorry about that. Be a little bit more diligent in our choices, and tracking helps that. I really wish Weight Watchers would say you could have X amount of 0 point foods in a day, or you go over your limit, or you just have to start counting them. When I was on the Magenta plan, that's the plan that I made up, which I think was a really good plan. If I remember to find that video, the Magenta, I should link it. What it was my first 0 point food was 0, but if I had it again the same day, I gave it a point. So I was somewhat accountable for it. Something like that. And if it was one of the carb ones, like rice, was this probably, God, was this back with the purple? It's been a while since I was on it. I think it was when it was blue, green, and purple, because that's why I went with magenta. It was kind of blue, it was kind of purple. It was magenta. If I had something in the carb family, like potatoes or oatmeal, I would give it 2 points for my second helping instead of 1. Something like that. But again, I didn't follow that either. So, but it was really good in theory. I think Weight Watchers should adopt the magenta plan because it made you accountable for your second helping of 0 point foods. You know, we have to be accountable. We do. You know, you don't lose weight by just eating what you want, unfortunately. And it doesn't matter what it is. Eating too much of anything. Can't have a dozen eggs. Yeah, there's 0 points, but there's 75 to 80 calories per egg. So let's just say you can't have them all. You can't have them all. So that is this week's challenge for you. I hope you do it. I hope you, at least for this 7 days, get into a good habit of tracking everything. Not the things you want to count, the good and the bad things. So that is it for me. Let me know if you're still in. Down below, say, hey, still in, D. And I would love to hear from you. Don't forget, if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel. Hit that subscribe button right down there. Join us on the challenge. That we are in week 5. Every Monday, there's a challenge video. So you can go back and look at the old challenge videos. If you want to get caught up, we'd love to have you. You can join anytime. It's free. You just show up to the video. You have to do. You could show up to the live tomorrow night, or you could show up to my Zoom tonight. I do a Zoom every Monday night. You're always welcome to come. Everything is listed in the Facebook group, though, because I don't put it here on YouTube, but it's in the private Facebook group. But y'all know my Zoom link because it's the same Zoom link I've always used. So come to Zoom. Come to a meeting. It's very structured. We don't, I'm going to be talking about tracking tonight, because it's important. So if you want to come, if you miss a meeting, come to mine and see if you like it. We'd love to have you. That is it for me. I will dish with you tomorrow for what I eat in a day. Have a great rest of your day. We got this, my lovelies.